First, let's talk about the children in North Wales who've been turned away from school buses this week in a row over passes. Pupils with out-of-date bus passes, or those who didn't know they had to show one, were left stranded at the side of the road. As you can imagine, parents are outraged. Let's talk to Sue McGrain from Wrexham. Hello, Sue. Good morning.
Good morning, Jason.
And Kevin Collinson joins us from Llanfairfychan. Their children were not allowed to travel. Hello, Kevin.
Hello, Jason. How you doing, friend?
Yeah, good. Thank you very much indeed. Great to have you on the show. Sue, right, tell us what happened.
My 13-year-old set off for school, first day back. 10 minutes after she'd gone out the door, she was back again, carrying a slip of paper, telling her no pass, no travel. No forewarning, no indication that this was going to happen. She's been at school for 2 years, never been asked for a pass before, and both her older brother and sister, who went through the same school, now aged 19 and 21, have never been asked for a pass either.
So she's never needed to show a bus pass before?
Never. I don't think she even has one. We received a letter, you have to apply for the free school transport when your child starts secondary school, which I did. I know I received a letter telling me she was entitled, and that was it as far as I was concerned.
Were parents not informed then about this change in policy? Because I have children, and very often they bring home letters telling you that there's a change in the school policy or giving you some news about what's going to happen soon. No letter?
No, absolutely nothing. I also checked the Wrexham County Borough website, specifically the school transport area, and there's no mention of it on there either, or at least there wasn't yesterday when I checked.
So what happened to your daughter?
I was frantic running around to organise getting her into school. I phoned the number given on the slip of paper that she'd been handed. It took me quite a while to get through. The lines were constantly busy. When I got through, I was simply told repeatedly that it had always been policy, and if she doesn't have a pass, she can't travel, and I would have to wait for one to be issued.
Okay, did she call you and say that she was having trouble?
No, I mean, she came straight back from the bus stop. The thing is, how are the children supposed to call? Because we do know it's policy that they're not allowed to carry mobile phones.
So they can't carry phones, so they're in a little bit of trouble. How did she get to school, Sue?
I had to take her. I mean, I have a relative living with me who requires care. Thankfully, I had somebody who could come and stay with her whilst I got my daughter to school.
You must have been absolutely furious.
I was absolutely livid. I was fuming. I don't have a problem with her having to show a pass if that's what's required, but just have the sense to let us know. How can we anticipate that this was going to happen?
Yeah. Was this day one of the new...
children at the stop, and all four of them were turned away from the bus.
Was this day one of the new school term?
Yeah. And I got to the school, and the playground there was a group of very angry parents, all in the same situation as myself. Went into the school, the poor headmaster was there apologising, but as he explained, he'd been given no notification either.
Yeah. What about you, Kevin? How are you feeling today?
Well, I'm feeling a little bit better than I was yesterday, but the reason for that is what they did is they sent this new pass that we had to the wrong address. So even though we'd updated our records with the school, they didn't know about sending the new bus pass to where we now live. But the main problem I find in this, Jason, is there's no communication and from anybody really, whether it's the school. I actually don't think it's the school's fault, because I sat in the deputy head's office and I said, right, if you're not the person who is accountable for this, then get me on the phone somebody who is. So we spoke to a lady called Kerry Smith at Conwy County Council, and what I'd realised when I was waiting to go in to see the deputy head was that Callum wasn't the only one. There was at least 3 or 4 of his mates who were literally, we live 10 miles away from school, so literally it's quite possible that the parents of the children were not at home and were sent home, and then they would kick around the streets in Llanfairfychan, 10 miles away from school, without any food all day. I just felt that kind of extreme, no pass, no travel kind of policy was ridiculous. And even when you took them to school, the school can't even issue an emergency bus pass these days. So therefore, there's no fail-safe mechanism in there, and I thought it was a real joke.
And again, the same question to you, Kevin, that I put to Sue. No notification whatsoever about this change in policy?
Not at all, no. Somebody's thought it up and then thought, oh, that's a good idea, and then next thing you know is they haven't thought about the whole process and the ramifications.
Why I'm slightly confused about this story, Kevin, from your perspective, maybe not for Sue, is because Conwy County Council on their website, and this was put up on the 26th of August, says as the new autumn term approaches, Conwy County Borough Council is reminding pupils and parents that bus passes will need to be shown for all journeys on school buses. No pass, no travel. That was put up on the 26th of August. Now, I could say to you, Kevin, you really should have checked the website.
Yeah, but let's say I did, Jason. Right, okay, I did check this website that I'm going to really go to. Let's say I did. I would have still given him the same bus pass he carried, which actually, and I did send this copy into the BBC with his new bus pass and his old bus pass, which we didn't know was old at the time.
I see.
He said it's valid till 2018. And if you look at the differences between them, one's a nice little purpley colour and the other one's white, saying the same damn thing. So the question I would ask is, well, he took the pass, he's wearing a school uniform, he's obviously going to school, and the argument that we got back was, well, we need to make sure there's enough seat belts on the buses, and started going down the health and safety route. And I said, well, you just actually created a health and safety issue by kicking the kids off the school who are going to left off the school bus, left to their own devices, rather than sitting in a seat that already has a seatbelt on it. It's nonsense.
Yeah. Well, Kevin and Sue, just to be clear, for the record, I just want you to both know that we have called Wrexham and Conwy Council respectively, but so far we've had no response. So if we do get any response from them, then we will bring that to you on this programme. But Sue, just back to you for 1 second.
Yeah.
As a parent, I'm thinking, well, surely it's up to the driver's discretion, isn't it? Okay, he may have been issued with this new guidance from the council. He's only doing his job. But at the same time, your daughter is 13. Kevin's boy's been left on the side of the road. As a parent, I think I'd be outraged as well, because anything could happen to those children.
Yeah, but I think you have to look at the slip of paper the children were given. Please ensure that your drivers strictly enforce the no pass, no travel rule from day one, and inform the student to ring us on, and they give the number. And it then says very clearly, if any operator is unable to do this or to ensure the changes made are enforced, then please let me know as soon as possible, and I will arrange to terminate and re-tender the contract for September. Now, what the council basically done is told the bus companies, if you let the kids on the bus without a pass, then we're going to terminate your contract. Now, if an individual driver had decided off his own back, no, if you haven't got a pass, I'm not letting you on, and left the child stranded, I would imagine the chances are that that driver would have been subject to disciplinary measures and may well have lost his job. However, we have someone on the council who's made the decision to do that and leave literally dozens of children stranded. I'd like some accountability, please. I'm quite worried by the fact that somebody who has the power to make these decisions has an attitude like that.
Well, as I say, we will continue to keep dialing the councils, and hopefully we'll get some sort of response from them. But Kevin, just finally to you...
One last thing I'd say, Jason, if I could, is there's an element to there's everything to do with children. There's a duty of care that has to take precedent, really. And effectively, the procedure and policy is negligent in its design, and therefore there is a lack of duty of care.
Good to talk to you both. Thank you very much indeed. That's Kevin Collinson and Sue McGrain. As I say, if we do get any response from Wrexham or Conwy County Borough Council, then we will bring it to you. 19 minutes past